All right, for today's deep dive, we're analyzing sources that make a truly staggering claim.
It's a big one.
It is. The claim is that the collapse of the Jensen family enterprise in New Zealand wasn't just a business failure. It wasn't even typical fraud.
No, the thesis here is that it was a state-engineered attack.
A textbook case of something called misfeasance in public office. We're talking about public officers, crown officers, allegedly using their power with malice to just destroy a private business.
And the sources lay out the key players very clearly. You have the Jensen family, who were the target.
Right.
Then you have Gerald Mackay, a respected lawyer who was allegedly coerced. He became the instrument.
The public face of it.
Exactly. And finally, the Johnston family, who the sources say were used as an unwitting conduit to launder the money.
Okay, let's unpack this. I want to start with the state's agent. How did they get inside?
Well, the material names one person, Anna McAllister. She's presented as the key state operative.
And the proof. How do they back that up?
It comes down to something called the double hat anomaly. Apparently, she was working as a law firm accountant in the private sector, while also holding a senior government statistician role at the same time, which is, impossible.
So that points to non-official cover, NOC.
That's the argument. She was deployed deep undercover, no visible government link, to run the whole operation from the inside.
This is where it gets really interesting for me. The sources claim she weaponized state-developed technical tools.
Yes, this is the core of it. They didn't just ignore crime, they allegedly used their own specialized methods to commit the crime.
Like backcasting.
Right. Backcasting is normally used to predict trends from data. Here, it was allegedly used to fabricate a financial history to make the company look like it was already failing.
And imputation.
That's a method for filling in missing data. The sources claim it basically functioned as a money laundering algorithm, creating a trail of fake, legitimate-looking transactions.
And the first person caught in this web was the lawyer, Gerald Mackay.
He was. They entrapped him, coerced him, and then used his professional reputation as a shield for what they were doing.
But why? What was the point of all this? If it wasn't personal greed, what was the motive?
The sources are very clear on this. The goal was an improper purpose.
Which was?
To illegally fund a state agency. When you follow the money, that's where the proof of misfeasance supposedly is.
So the stolen Jensen funds, they're laundered through the unwitting Johnston family.
To hide where the cash came from, yeah.
And then the clean money gets funneled into what the sources call a clandestine war cache.
An off-the-books slush fund. And its only purpose was to finance the MIPS prosecution team, part of the Ministry of Fisheries. That's the corrupt objective.
Now, to prove misfeasance, you need to show malice, intent to harm.
And the sources point directly to the Jensen v. Jensen lawsuit. This corporate divorce was allegedly engineered with fabricated evidence. The sole intent was for the legal fight to bankrupt the family, maximum harm.
And what about the $1 million in fake invoices found during the audit? That seems almost too obvious.
Well, that was the point. It was a decoy crime.
A decoy.
A clumsy, obvious-looking crime of personal greed designed to send any investigators down a rabbit hole away from the real state-level money laundering scheme.
So how did they clean it all up at the end?
A controlled demolition of the law firm, Mackay Hill.
Mackay was the fall guy.
He was sacrificed as the scapegoat. His disbarment created a legal firewall to stop the victims from digging any deeper through civil court.
And the agent, McAllister.
She got a golden parachute, an overseas deployment out of the country, and, of course, key court records were redacted.
So what this all means for you is that the sources are arguing this was a calculated use of public power to hurt citizens and secretly fund a state agenda.
And if you zoom out, it raises a huge question about accountability. When state actors use intelligence and regulatory tools against their own citizens for an improper purpose, is that a failure of individuals?
Or is it a systemic failure, a flaw in the state apparatus that gives them that power in the first place? And that leaves a provocative final thought for you to explore. How does the claim of using a historical national security pretext, this old Norwegian espionage affair, justify what was allegedly done to this family financially years after that threat was gone?